Welcome to In the Loop, with helpful information and resources provided by Louisville Metro Government and our partnering agencies. This program encourages active participation from all of our residents by covering a wide variety of tips, tools, resources, events, and so much more. The last half of the show invites listeners to call in to discuss the topic of the day with our featured guests. In the Loop is sponsored by Louisville Metro Community Services. The views expressed by the show host, guests, and the callers are not necessarily those of the station or Louisville Metro government.
Well, welcome to another week of In the Loop. This program is brought to you by Louisville Metro Office of Resilience and Community Services. I'm Debbie Belt. I'm the Communications Coordinator for Community Services. I'm delighted to be joined by my coworker, Julia Dake. She is our Homeless Communications Coordinator. And our special guest today is Courtney Weisshaupt. She is the Detox Manager with the Healing Place. So welcome to everyone. Welcome, Courtney.
Thank you.
I am going to turn it over to Julia.
Great, thanks. So, Courtney, can you tell us a little bit about your position at the Healing Place and your background?
Absolutely. So I'm the detox manager at the Healing Place, which means that I oversee our detox and overnight programming on both the men's and women's campus. And a little bit about my background. So I've worked in the field of addiction since 2013. I started out with adolescents, and I moved to the adult population in 2016, where I've been ever since.
Great. And what kinds of services does the Healing Place offer?
So the Healing Place offers a non-medical detox. We have long-term residential treatment, outpatient treatment, and an overnight shelter. Our campus in Campbellsville offers residential and transitional services as well. We have clinical and low-demand treatment programs for veterans. We have a program at Churchill Downs that provides services for backside employees and their families. And our newest program is a homeless outreach program, which offers housing on campus for up to a year, peer support, and case management services.
Courtney, hi. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to go back a bit. I knew about your services here in Louisville, and then I'd seen on your website the Campbellsville, where you have a location in Campbellsville.
Yes.
And you said Churchill Downs, the backside. Is that what you just said, too? I didn't know about that, and I was just at Churchill Downs on a rainy Sunday, losing money last Sunday, but it's still such an awesome place. But
Yes.
I did not know that you all had a presence there at the backside.
We
So
do.
It's pretty cool. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's all right. So back to the homeless outreach program, that's the one you're doing in partnership with Louisville Metro Resilience and Community Services, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. I always love to plug our office as much as possible as well, but definitely plug you guys, the great work you've been doing. You all have had so much success with that so far from what I hear. So kind of to pivot back to recovery, which is kind of the basis of what you all do, is what is the recovery program? What could people expect, things like that. But in shorter words, what is it?
Okay, so the Healing Place's recovery program is a long-term residential program that uses a social model of recovery through peer mentoring and personal accountability. Clients can move at their own pace through our program, and it generally takes about 6 to 9 months to complete. So the Healing Place program is defined by 3 essential elements: education on the disease of addiction and recovery, which is super important; the community model, which is a democratic, modified therapeutic community that inspires and encourages responsibility in clients; and peer mentoring, which is when clients who have successfully completed our program share their experience, strength, and hope with other alcoholics and addicts.
So I know that you all kind of have a 4-phase approach to the recovery process. So can you tell us about the Healing Place's 4-phase approach?
Sure. So, like you said, there are 4 phases. The first is the entry or detox. And so the primary purpose of this is to detox and stabilize the individual from drugs and alcohol. Our detox is non-medical, but we have trained staff and partnerships with nearby hospitals to help ensure the medical safety of our clients. Detox usually lasts between 5 to 7 days, and while these folks are in our detox service, they are receiving food, clothing, shelter, and emotional support, which are all key pieces of the detox process. Once someone finishes the detox process, they can move into the motivational phase of our program, And this includes what's called safe haven and then off the streets. So when a client is accepted into our long-term recovery program, they begin in what's called safe haven. This is the first 14 days of the program, and it's where the clients remain on property except for any necessary appointments, medical or legal kinds of things that they need to take care of that are pressing. So while in Safe Haven, clients attend approximately 80 classes and 12-step meetings on our campus. Yes.
I know. That is
80 classes. Yeah, that's back to college almost. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and it's really giving them an opportunity to become acclimated to the Healing Place environment and what we do. While clients are in Safe Haven, they're housed with folks who are a little bit further ahead in the program so that they can get to know them and start kind of the bonding process that is so key to the program. So off the streets is the next part of this phase, and that's when clients work with peers in similar circumstances to motivate each other to adopt social skills and learn the core principles that are central to Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous. While in OTS, the clients come to understand the concept of the disease of addiction. They are going to classes daily off campus, and this is where they really begin to accept that their disease is a self-centered issue and it has a spiritual solution. So our clients are learning the basics of responsibility. They're moving away from a street mentality and making a commitment at this point to the solution. This phase of the program can last 1 to 3 months generally. So the phase after that, we're on number 3 now, is the recovery phase. And this is where clients are learning how to apply the 12 steps of AA and Narcotics Anonymous into their lives through our program curriculum. The curriculum consists of classes and written assignments. And during this phase, clients are assisted through the process by peer mentors, who I mentioned earlier, which are the men and women who've recently completed the recovery program. They, during this phase, we really stress structure, responsibility, and accountability, kind of those basic principles that they've already learned in the program. And they do, to maintain some structure, they have a rotation of chores that they do, like cooking, housekeeping, maintenance, and security for our building. They're encouraged to look at their own behaviors, and this personal accountability is facilitated at the community meetings, which I brought those up earlier, as kind of a key component of our program. Mm-hmm. So the second part of the phase is works on interpersonal skills, stressing concern and accountability for others in the program, and this is achieved through role modeling, holding peers accountable for their actions, and giving support to each other. And this typically lasts about 3 to 6 months. So the final phase of the program is continuing care. And after completing the Healing Place recovery program, clients have the opportunity to address employment, education, vocational training, and housing. And they continue their program of recovery by working on relapse prevention, participating in community meetings for alumni at this point, and attending recovery meetings. So they have the ability to reestablish ties with their family, build clean and sober lifestyles for themselves, all kinds of things that come along with finishing the program.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I'm hearing is that, I guess, throughout each of the 4 phases is about peer support. So you would say that that's a vital part of recovery for a lot of people. And Debbie, did you have a question? I heard you might.
Well, I saw it. Well, I really just wanted to interject. First of all, I want to welcome again Courtney Weisshaupt. She's here with the Healing Place, and we're so glad she's here sharing information. And we will ask, and what you described about the 4 phases, I mean, that just is, I'm so appreciative that we have this agency and the work that you do in our community. And we know there's a lot of people who can use the services. I think, we all know people that have been impacted by substance use disorder, addiction, and just so grateful that the Healing Place has been in our community for many years and doing the work that you're doing. Tell us how do people get involved, how can people contact you all? And we'll repeat this a couple times. Is it best like you could call or drop by or?
Mm-hmm. So if someone needs assistance, or we have a loved one who's concerned, they can call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have Detox staff who are always available, and our phone number is 502-585-4848.
Great, thank you so much. So they can just call that number anytime and get connected to recovery services or get recovery services for someone else if need be. That's awesome.
We're able to answer questions from loved ones, and also it's a good way to check on bed availability because our beds are filled on a first come first served basis.
Okay, that's good to know. And kind of along the vein of services, can anybody access those services, or are there specific barriers or qualifications before you can get a bed at the Healing Place and receive treatment?
No, so we really try and reduce as many barriers as possible to treatment. So what really the main thing that we ask is that you are 18 or older.
Great. So it doesn't matter if there's a particular substance that someone's using or no other barriers like that. Just all right.
No, that's correct.
And I know I don't mean to jump around, I guess, to money right away, but if somebody is worried about how they could afford services at the Healing Place, what would you tell them? How could somebody go about paying for services? Do you work with people on payment plans? Do you mind explaining that?
Yeah, so this is my absolute favorite question to answer. At the Healing Place, detox and substance abuse treatment are available at zero cost to the client.
Oh, wow.
That takes a load off, a big load off.
And how are you all able to do that? I know, obviously, donors are very important, but if there's anyone in particular that you want to shout out, or just how the public can get involved.
So the best way for the public to get involved is by going to our website, thehealingplace.org, and clicking on the Get Involved tab. That's where you can see the most up-to-date information on current needs at the Healing Place. It's also where you can find information about making financial donations. We have the links to our Amazon wish list, as well as volunteer applications available on this page.
Awesome. And Vince had a question. He just showed it to me. But does someone have to be vaccinated for COVID-19 before they enter the program? Obviously, we want to stress that vaccinations are very, very important and that everyone should go out and get their COVID-19 vaccine if they can. But does someone have to be vaccinated to enter the program?
So vaccination is not a requirement for our program. Inside our building, we're still practicing the safety protocols, social distancing, masks, and things like that. Great.
So kind of to pivot back to outreach, which is something that's done in partnership with Resilience and Community Services, can you tell us a little bit about the homeless outreach team? I know it's kind of new, but we would love to hear anything about it.
Right. So, well, like you said, in September, the Healing Place announced this exciting partnership with Louisville Metro to assist the houseless population in our city.
Yay!
I know.
It's so great.
Yes. So we are working in coordination with various community resources as well as the Coalition for the Homeless to provide wraparound services to individuals in our community who are experiencing houselessness. We've launched a pilot program aimed at reducing the number and recidivism rate of houseless individuals in our community. So we're utilizing a low-demand model, which essentially means that requirements for accessing our services are minimal. We want to make it as easy as possible for individuals to do so. So some about our team. While in the homeless outreach program, individuals will work closely with our outreach team, which consists of a case manager and peer support specialists, who assist the clients with engagement, stabilizing, establishing goals, and developing specific plans to meet their unique needs. The goal of the program is to provide a safe, supportive environment for individuals who are looking to transition into permanent housing and independence ultimately.
Great. I love to hear that.
I'm so happy about this program.
And Debbie, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
This is a question that's just kind of coming to mind, but I know the holidays can be tough for people. People that we tend to indulge already with food and drink, and so for those who are suffering from addiction, is the demand higher during the holidays, or do you all see an impact in that way?
I think that we at the Healing Place we kind of have put some things in place to meet that demand, because there does seem to be a little bit more during the holidays. We have open meetings. We have a gratitude meeting on Thanksgiving morning that's always very heavily attended, and it's just we just want to be a place for people to reach out and have some extra support if they're maybe uncomfortable at their family events, or if they find themselves without anyone to spend the holidays with.
And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but you did say something about like holiday stockings, and So you give that to the participants of your program, just some stockings with supplies, things like that, to make people feel
Yeah, we want to make everybody
holiday
just
spirit.
something special.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And so when you're talking the holidays, it sounds like Thanksgiving, the Healing Place is operating, and someone who wanted to call, again, is that number 24/7? I mean, is it
Yes.
all the time? It's
365.
open.
Yes.
So that number again, if anyone is wanting to reach out, I guess it sounds like on behalf of yourself or a loved one, if you have questions, is 502-585-4848.
That's
Got
correct.
it? All right.
And do you mind sharing with us some success stories from the Healing Place? I know this time of year, everyone likes to hear a heartwarming story, and I think it's so important because so many people and people they know may struggle with substance use disorder. So I think it's nice to be able to see that there is, a way out. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So I would love to hear a story if you could share one.
Yeah. So we have there are just so many. It's hard to pick one, but really, so at the Healing Place, we are connecting folks to services and the treatment that they need. We're getting them connected to things like employment and housing, but more than that, and especially during this time of year, it's nice to hear we're reuniting families and we're restoring hope for people that have may have lost it, and we're equipping people with the tools and the support that they need to remain sober.
And Courtney, when you we talk about, you were talking about recidivism earlier on, but let's say someone has tried to go through the recovery process before. Maybe it just wasn't time, or it's still never too late, right?
That's absolutely correct. It's never too late, and we are here to support anybody, whether it's their first attempt or their 21st attempt. We are going to continue to be here.
And at no cost to you.
And
we
at
should
no cost.
re-emphasize that
Yes.
the Healing Place will help you with no cost to you because of their fantastic donors and their fantastic team working so hard to help people. What should the community know about substance use disorder? Not to pivot too quickly from a celebration, but I do know that people have many misgivings about substance use disorder and what it is. So if you don't mind just kind of clearing some stuff up for us, or what do you think the biggest thing that people should know about substance use disorder?
Absolutely. So I would say that the biggest thing that the community should know is that substance use disorder is a brain disease. It's not a moral issue. These folks are struggling, and oftentimes they may not even realize that help is available for them. So the best thing that we can do is really treat these individuals with compassion and also equip ourselves with the knowledge of what resources are available to help them.
And how can we change how we talk about substance use disorder, and why are the words we use so important? Because I know there are a lot of terms that are not very nice in general, but also can be harmful to someone who has a substance use disorder. So how should we talk about it?
So again, I would say it's important to speak about it as a disease, not a moral issue. And I think it's also important to recognize drug addiction and alcoholism separately, rather than just grouping them into the category of substance use disorder, because that's more of a clinical language that is people aren't as able to relate to, and it also tends to imply just drug addiction when you say substance use. Mm-hmm. So it's important to include alcoholism in that also, and recognize that that's still just as prevalent in our community.
Courtney, I'm thinking about just personally, I know I have some friends that I think are struggling a bit, and I find that isolation is probably my biggest challenge. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but with even just being able to reach the person or make plans with the person, you want to reach out. Do you have any tips on? Would you say just keep trying and keep introducing ways that you can bring yourself together with them?
Absolutely. I would say just continue to try and take the approach of being as non-judgmental as possible, because there's some situations where the individual may not even realize they have a problem, but in a lot of situations they know exactly what's going on. They know that they have a problem, and there's a lot of shame and guilt and remorse that comes behind that. So just being someone who is there, who is supportive and neutral and non-judgmental, and just there to help when or if they decide that they need it is important.
And I really do thank you for that. That's already been on my list of, trying to reconnect with some friends that I've lost touch with. And so that's sort of I know it's not New Year's, but my holiday resolution or whatever I want to call it. But, make an effort to really reach out and let them know I'm here.
Yes.
So in addition to calling 502-585-4848 for assistance, where can people locate the Healing Places facilities? Like, what if they have a relative that's ready right now? Or like Debbie said, when you reach out to that friend and they say, you know what, I'm ready to make a change, and they're ready right now, do you still suggest calling ahead of time? Or are there places that people can just kind of show up or bring a friend?
Yeah, so you can. We are also available 24/7. We are open 24/7. So if someone decides that they're ready for detox at 3 a.m., bring them on. And it sometimes it's kind of an now or never with the person, and so it might not. They might change their mind in the time that it would take you to make the phone call. So bring them on. And,
good advice.
And generally, yes, if we are full, we offer people. We have other options, other referrals, we want to just do our best to connect them to something if they've decided that they're ready for treatment. Our men's facility is located at 1020 West Market, and our women's facility is located at 1503 South Hill Street also.
So with the men's and women's facility, has it been like that for some time where it's been divided? Or like say you had the main one, what I call the main one, do you redirect to, if you go to the men's, you just redirect it to the women's, or how do you do that?
Yes. Yeah, that we would just redirect you over there, and then we could provide transportation if you needed it.
That actually, that's funny. Vince just asked, our board operator just asked if transportation was provided. So you all can transport folks, say they're unsheltered, living, on the streets or in a situation that is not necessarily appropriate shelter for a human to be in. You can transport them to the men's or women's
That's
centers.
correct.
That's awesome. And can you transport belongings as well?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm just amazed at the work that you are doing, and hearing more about it, learning more about it. I just really appreciate that Courtney Weisshaupt is here with the Healing Place. I hope everyone listening is getting a lot out of the program too. So, Courtney, how many people do you all generally serve? Is it like, if you want to talk either by month, over a year, or?
Yeah, so it's over 5,000 a year.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
Are they mainly folks from Louisville Metro, or do people come from other counties to seek services? Because you all offer such a great program, I'm sure it's definitely attractive to someone who's seeking recovery, just based on the successes that you all have had. But is it mainly Louisville Metro?
Yeah, mainly
residents?
Louisville Metro, some of the surrounding counties, and then every once in a while somebody's coming from out of state.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
Are your programs? Are they all in-house? Well, I'm not saying the right word. Residential, or some outpatient, or?
We have outpatient services that we're affiliated with. It's across the street from our main from our men's campus.
And if someone wants to enter the program, say they're ready either right now, they're going to be ready in a week, ready next month, next year, what can they bring with them to the Healing Place? Because I know different places have different restrictions on what you can bring in, and obviously nobody wants to bring in something they can't. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So when someone decides that they are ready for treatment, they should bring several changes of comfortable clothing, comfortable walking shoes, because like I mentioned in one part of the program, they're walking to class daily. Any personal toiletries that do not contain alcohol, a warm coat, especially right now.
Yes.
Shower shoes, and at least a 30-day supply of any non-narcotic prescription medications. Clients in our detox and our first phase of the program are not permitted to have cell phones, so I would just suggest leaving those at home if you can. Anything that's any kind of valuables, just leave those at home.
Great. And are visitors allowed? Say you know somebody who's staying at the Healing Place, can you come visit them, say hello?
Yeah, so clients that are in the motivational phase of our program can visit with friends and family off campus on the weekends. They can also visit with friends and family when they come up for meetings. We have meetings on campus every day, and those are open to the public, and so that's the time for them to visit also.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And our phase, when clients are in our phase part of the program, they are able to visit with their friends and family more frequently. They're able to do that every afternoon, and then the same goes for the meetings as well.
Oh, that's great. So there's no, because Debbie was talking about isolation earlier, so it just kind of removes that barrier of isolation from your loved ones, because I know relationships are really, really important to people. So I think that's great, just allowing people to keep that bond while they're in recovery. I think that's awesome.
So when you were talking about the suggested items to bring, which sound great, I'm glad that you all helped think through. What if someone really, they just show up, though, they don't have all that stuff? Is a family member, loved one able to drop off what is needed?
Yes. So if someone shows up without anything, we have resources available at the Healing Place to give them the things they need. They might not have any, even a change of clothes. We have those kinds of things, and then we also have the ability to take drop-offs from friends and family who want to drop things off to their loved ones in the program.
And kind of along, I guess, the line of dropping things off, if a member of the public wanted to make donations of physical goods, what is your biggest need right now?
So socks is a big one, winter items, hand warmers, coats, things like that, things that are essential during these winter months, especially for our outreach team who's going out into those are the folks that are going out into the camps and doing outreach, connecting with individuals who are out there, and those are some essential items for them.
And those can be dropped off directly on site?
Yes, they can.
And tell us that address again.
The men's campus is 1020 West Market Street, and our women's campus is located at 1503 South Hill Street.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, because those tangible items, for instance, we just did a sock drive. Julia helped coordinate with some community partners.
Coordinated loosely, but thank you.
Well, but people like that there's something tangible that they can do and help out.
And we all wear socks. I mean, I think everybody needs a pair of socks. I think it's always good to have a clean, warm pair of socks, especially like Courtney was saying during these winter months when it's about to get bitterly cold. I think it's vital.
Absolutely. So Courtney Weisshaupt with Healing Place, if you can, I know our program is coming to an end, but just kind of give us the rundown again about, if you think you need some, maybe even like telling us when do you think people know it's time to seek help, and then how do they take those steps to get help with you all?
So whenever someone decides that they are ready for help, based on the way that they're feeling, based on their circumstances, any number of things, they've decided that this is going to be it for me. We are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our service, we are always open. And again, our phone number is 502-585-4848. That's a way to connect to our Detox staff who are there to answer questions and provide information about bed availability and things like that.
I mean, I don't know about you all, but I think it's amazing to talk about any place that's open 24/7, 365 days a year.
At no cost.
At no cost.
Yes. I keep emphasizing that, but it's a barrier. Money is a barrier for people when they're seeking any form of medical treatment, but especially, addiction recovery services. I think money, it's, if you're worried about that, it's, you might not seek assistance. So I think it's great that you all have that. You all are such an asset to the community in that way.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Vince, did you have any closing questions? Nope. All right. So just thinking, we got maybe 1 minute left.
Can you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
Go ahead.
Can people find the Healing Place on social media? Do you all have like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram profiles?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. And can you give us the name of your website if people want to visit and either make a donation, maybe sign up to volunteer? What's a good place to reach you all online?
thehealingplace.org is the best way to connect with us online and read the most current information about our needs and about what's going on within the agency.
And I just got to thank all the Healing Place staff, Courtney, for being with us today, but everyone out there who is associated with the Healing Place, volunteers, staff, donors, thank you all. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, thank you, thank you.
We're eternally grateful. Yes.
We are eternally grateful. And thank you to our listeners, and we will be back next week, so be sure to tune in with us. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into In the Loop. Louisville Metro Community Services is proud to sponsor this program to further our mission to improve the quality of life for all residents and reduce poverty. Louisville is richer with